Weekends. Welcome again to yet another insightful episode of the Legacy Conscious Parenting Podcast. We talked about how to raise emotionally intelligent children without lectures in our previous episode. Today we'll be doing the second part of it. We said you should teach your children to understand how they're feeling, emotional literacy. We talk about co-regulation. I'll talk about modeling. In this episode, we're going to be giving you three more. That's emotional language, the first one. The second one is behavior coaching. And the third one is building safety habits. Now let's get right into it, right? We said emotional intelligence doesn't have to sound like rocket science. I do not need a degree in neuro linguistic programming to be able to teach it to your children. We've already said all of those, right? It can be very easy, it can be simple to do, and we're going to show you how. Yet again, whether you're raising a toddler who's 3, or you're interacting with a twin or a teenager, emotional intelligence can be a walk in the park depending on how you choose to approach it. All right. Think about feelings like wild horses. I used that analogy to teach my daughters about emotional intelligence and feelings being the horse, and you are the rider. Together, you people will make an awesome duo if you do not overcomplicate things, right? If you walk in total synergy. Alone, the horse can be erratic and run by itself. Without the horse, you won't be able to go far, right? So, but together, you can make a very perfect blend, correct? Until you name them, until you are able to master the horse, until you're able to get used to it, you won't be able to ride effectively or win that polo competition you're vying for. So instead of correcting, trying to always, yeah, we were fond of that, right? Parents are fond of always jumping in to say, this is how you should have done it better. When I was your age, I was doing it like this. Don't you see that you're too old for this now? How about you ask them with kindness, do you want us to talk about it? Really? And when they don't want to, discipline, connection, interaction should not always be an emergency. It ought not to be. You come from a place of need or desire, allow them be. They would come out of their shells, they'll talk about it when they are ready. And I've learned that if you don't want to talk about it, I've learned to trust that they'll be able to walk through it by their own selves. All right. Stop trying to minimize how they are feeling. Is it just this little thing you are feeling this way about? That it is little to you does not mean that it is little to them at all. So stop trying to downplay it just because it feels like it's very trivial for you. Also, and again, when you see them feeling a certain way, can you give them options? Are you feeling angry, disappointed, or frustrated? They may seem like they are the same thing, but they are not. If you're feeling disappointed, something may have caused it. I always say that if you do not have expectations, you will not be disappointed. I'll prefer for you to surprise me than for me to be expectant and then you disappoint me. I've learned to be self reliant to a very great degree so that I will not even bother you, so that there are things I can do without you. I learn daily to be agentic. With you, we can do amazingly well, but without you, I can still get by. Now, this may seem or come across to a lot of people as arrogance, but you don't chop basbos before, they don't disappoint you before. Okay, let's just call it what it is. You don't chop breakfast before, and they served it to you. Breakfast is not necessarily heartbreak. Oh. Somebody told you that they're coming to you to okay, maybe go somewhere with you at 7 o'clock. You got dressed and you sat down 7, 8, 9, 10. Around 11, they'll now come and say one useless message and say, hey, my horse flew, my bucket bent, the egg I was cooking became a butter, but like very flimsy excuses that does not even make sense at all. And you have been ready, you've been waiting for them. Or somebody now comes and tells you, when you need anything, just let me know. Oh my god. Person always say make I lean on now, don't go sit down. You have told me to come and meet you when I need anything. And I'm here now. You're telling me actually before they paid salaries, I had an emergency. That's when they will now know me that they know how to speak English. Will now bring the Weibo, polish it and give it to you. But if I don't expect anything from you, will I be disappointed when you don't come through? Of course not. Will I be excited when you do come through? Of course. If I learn to do certain things without you, when you're not there to do them, when you're training me consciously to not rely on you, guess what? It won't hurt me much because I can do all things indeed through Christ who strengthens me. So that reminds me of what Visit and Bequia said about teaching, really. If you need your children to be a certain way, you want them to be world class leaders, you want them to be ABC and D, do you necessarily need them to know how to do chores from an early age when they will outsource this later and buy back their time? And he said, for you to be able to do something, you must first learn it, you must then document it, you must now master it before you can delegate it. It's the same way too. All right, you must first learn it so that by the time you're done learning it, you can document, you can gain mastery before you can delegate it. Whatever you want to outsource, learn to do it by yourself so that even when nobody shows up, you will still try. It may not be at 100% output level, but of course, you will still be able to keep up. Number two, behavior coaching and not policing, behavior policing. Let us stop being helicopter parents. We want our children to do it. I am very guilty of this. Did you not see that woman? Why did you not greet? Are we trying to prove a point? We want to show that yes, we've been teaching them how to have manners, right? You are guilty to she. I know you are guilty. Let's be telling each other the truth, Joe. I know you are guilty too. Let's stop policing behavior. Let's stop trying to raise children who are perfect and flawless. Let's understand that they're very human and they are prone to human mistakes too. Coach their behavior. Let everything be something not all the time, right? Not in that exact moment, right? You're trying to you get them to reflect on it. When you saw that lady the other time, why didn't you say hello? Oh, I'm sorry. I was lost in my thoughts. I was doing something else. That's why. And I forgot to say hello. You see, sometimes it's just innocent. Sometimes it's an oversight. Sometimes it's not because they forgot their manners. They may just have a lot going on in their tiny young minds, right? And so be curious, really, and ask questions. It doesn't have to be right there and then. I tell my children to praise in public and correct privately. Right? When somebody does something great, praise them in front of them or in front of everyone. When they do something that's not all right, wait for them to be by themselves and then you can correct them. Of course, all of us have our egos and no one wants to be treated anyhow or talked down on, especially in public. All right. So coaching will mean constantly asking questions, inviting them to reflect instead of demanding perfection. The way you spoke the other time, do you think it was the best way to have gone with that thing? The way you did that thing right the other day, do you consider the best option there was? Ask them questions so that they'll reflect on their actions, right? So that next time they'll be able to determine for themselves if this is the better alternative. And it's not just, of course, coaching will not just be left at asking them or calling them to reflection. How about you teach them really, okay, you should have done this better. For instance, when I told my daughters about assertiveness, I said, you call out the behavior. This thing you did so and so thing. The other day you called me fat. You have named the action. It made me feel less of myself. You've said how it made you feel. How about next time you call me chubby instead? Assertiveness. You call out the action, you say how it made you feel, then you give an alternative. So don't just go and start policing without necessarily teaching. Take every experience, every behavior as a feedback, right? That something is missing, something has not been done right, something needs to be added, and teach constantly, coaching, constantly teaching, because why else are we here, right? Now, reflecting would also mean you admitting when you don't do it right. Because, of course, we're not perfect people ourselves, right? We're not even modeling that to them. We're not showing them any form of infallibility. I overreacted the last time when I said ABC and D. I am sorry. I promise to do better moving forward. The final one is safety building habits. Your home rather, should be a safe space. Like the world is already crazy now. It's already turning on its own. Like a lot of things are not all right. If you live in a certain city in this country, I don't want to mention any name more. You understand that, oh my God, a lot is happening. From the moment you come out of your house to when you get to where you're going, your father, thunder fire you, you know, they're okay, show all right me. I did not call any city's name. Remember, I did not call any city's name. But then you get back, you're wondering, were you involved in an accident? Why are you overstimulated emotionally like this? How did your day become like this? Why? You see, Imagine bringing that energy to the home, and that's the environment your children constantly growing. Yourself, check it out. You will not be okay. You will not be happy, right? Make your home a safe space. Safety doesn't necessarily mean that everywhere has to look a certain way, the decor has to be on point. It comes from the environment, and our environment definitely influence greatly the environment we carry about, right? If the environment is right, it influences how you feel within yourself. Now, how do you create a safe space, or how do you make your home a safe space? Number one, you create time or room for emotional check-in rituals. How are you feeling today? How did your day go? What made you feel sad, happy, mad, or frustrated? Number two is normalizing repair. Oh, I am sorry I spoke to you the other day like that. I take responsibility for my actions. I promise to do better moving forward. Finally, making room for silence. So every time you want to talk now, silence is golden. Can there just be days where you don't talk much? Good morning, mommy. Good morning, daddy. That's it. Allow them space to just be, and they don't want to tell you how they're feeling. Give them time. When they feel like it, I'm always here, right? Don't make it feel like when you ask them, they must say what's going on. Because that's how they will ask them what's on their mind on social media, and then they'll feel like they have to say it. Somebody will come pretending to be a friend and wants to just find out what's in their mouth. They will not come and ask, how you feeling? That day I hit my head on the stone, the butterfly now flew away. Before you know, your child will open their mouth and start talking. Allow them be silent. And if they tell you, I don't want to talk about it, respectfully, back off. I know it's difficult because we always want to be in control, right? Right? I know, been there, done that, right? We've talked about emotional language, we've talked about creating a safe space for them to express their emotions or simply not. We've also talked about behavior coaching and not policing. If you have not watched the first part, we advise you to do so. I can't begin to appreciate you guys enough. It's not everyone who would say, I want to be a better person and commit to being better. Thank you so much for all you do to raise children who are indeed better than you are, to keep the torch burning in this generation, and for the much you do in building a legacy that would outlast you. I once heard a proverb that a man who's planting a tree is doing a very sacrificial work because he may not live long enough to stay under the shed when the tree fully matures. That's you. Thank you for the sacrifices you make in raising legacy conscious children and for the environment you create to nurture them. Until we meet again in yet another insightful episode of the Legacy Conscious Parenting Podcast, stay excellent and keep doing the most when it comes to raising children with legacy consciousness.